throughout all the times I've grown here and there, but most lately, I wouldn't bother myself to walk back then. I used to not want to walk or go anywhere. You can say that's very lazy. I actually have a good fact for that. You know, back when my brain was a intelligent level, back when my brain was at an intelligent level of a mouse, walking would seem like forever. For me to get over here to there, literally to the corner store, not even the corner store, a store that is half a mile away. It just seemed like forever to me. I actually remember this older vision I had back when I was a young child. The very first time I walked, and for some reason, I thought walking will take forever. Thinking about it, I think it was more than 11 years ago. Heck, perhaps even 20 years ago. I was with my family, and I realized walking and talking can pass minutes quickly. Would you just imagine that? Literally having a conversation that can shift a 15-minute walk into 5 minutes, 10 minutes at least. Makes a lengthy walk look like absolutely nothing. You see, when it comes to walking, it seems lengthy, unnecessary for you to walk because there's a lot of time for you to go through. And you don't really realize what's going on around you. All you think about is the length this is going to take. The measurement of me constantly walking for 15 minutes. If you're telling me for a brain that is adapted to a dog or cat, I really wouldn't want to do that. Remembering back when I was just gliding my hand across the wall the whole time, I was literally just gliding my hand right there. The wall seemed to be forever. I even used my hand as proof that this is going to take a long time. It took like a whole minute. That wall was probably a whole block too, maybe half a block, third to a full, third to a full wholeness of a wall. Literally seemed like 1 minute. Thinking about how minutes can take a long time while walking, 15 minutes seemed like a whole hour to me. I was really small back then. I look at teenagers on their bikes and skateboards. I look at human beings as giants. I look at every building as a very extremely big building. Hugiantic, humongous, colossus, as you can say. So, streets felt like a whole block to me. Blocks felt like fields. As for the fact, I was walking and talking with my family, exchanging our thoughts back and forth. I can't really remember what occurred back then, but all I do really remember is that walk being absolutely nothing for your young boy. It really painted a great picture in me, the greatest picture of all time. A 15-hour walk that seems like a whole hour can actually be like 5 minutes. Literally, most accurately. For you to imagine that, such a young soul. Most wellly known, I don't really get most memories from those times. There's really nothing that could occupy my mind from all the way back then. I just remember my little self looking at everybody as if they're humongous, complete giants, titans. That skateboard they were on a vehicle, big vehicle. That was no normal transportation of publicity. No, that was wait, isn't everything publicity? That was a vehicle that you were driving with your bare hands. It points out to how easy things can be if you don't make it as hard as it can be as well. Instead of making this such a big deal, seeing everybody as huge, telling myself, maybe I'm never ever going to be that big. There's no possible way that I'm going to be looking like that. A big guy. Some the biggest man ever. Yet the man's probably just 5'9", the average height. There's a big, nice feeling telling you this is going to take forever. A big sound of an alarm that's full of laziness because of how this is going to take long. That voice simply gets shut down by navigating through it. What a better way to navigate through it than having a group of people around you conversating, turning those 15 minutes into 30 seconds. And also, as a child, maybe one day I'll be able to transpire quickly, becoming into an adult. Those hours won't feel so long because I'll get there faster than you can imagine. I'm already here, you can mention. As far as how walking can go, it went by so fast. That was the first time I enjoyed walking, anyways. More events came up like that. Like when I ended up meeting a group of people, friends, best of friends forever, literally. Friends that you'd stick by for years. Like those moments when I'd hang out with my buddies. I don't know if you guys had this in your guys' state, but there were these moments when we'd enter to school about an hour later. We'd enter school an hour later. I think school started at 7 o'clock. We'd enter at 8 o'clock. There were corner stores right next to the school. A good 7 minute walk to get us some energy drinks. A couple of cool kids, cool cats getting energy drinks. Probably in junior high, just getting us an energy drink. Now, this is when I start actually remembering things. I remember I used to always want to get a sausage McMuffin. Oh my gosh, that sausage is entering my tongue. I just remember how beautiful that was. Then, next thing you know, we started getting pizza. $5 pizza. At the best place you can imagine. It wasn't as bad as it was. And next thing you guys know, secondly, there's a park 3 minutes away from the school. Hidden, completely hidden. You don't even see the park around the school, which kind of blew me off. Kind of amazed me how there's a park right next to the junior high. But here goes one of my homies. He'd always want to go anywhere. If I didn't want to go, he'd have such a frown. If I was being uptight about it, he'd probably kick me out. He really did like walking. He liked being around people, chatting, being friendly. He was an explorer type, an adventurous type. I guess I was just a love bug inside of the house. Soon as you know it, ended up liking the stuff he liked. Now I'm athletic, as you can see. Athletic as you'd probably see me with my shirt off. Ain't even gonna do that for you guys though. For sure though, we'd go to that park over there, and just as kids would play tag right there on the playground, we would fight to get to the top. Some of us would get frustrated because we wouldn't make it to the top, and those who were at the top remained cool, remained as a boss. I just remember every single scream, especially one of my pals right there constantly screaming, just let me up. And then next thing you know, one of my other buddies just pulls him down, and it became the most funniest thing in the world. Basically, after finishing the pizza, we would battle it out. Let's see who can make it to the top, who can survive. Some of us getting frustrated, annoyed, begin an argument because they didn't make it to the top. Such a beautiful time back then. At least we weren't looking forward to play video games for an hour until school started. We went out for a walk. Walking ended up being a good pal to us. Walking ended up being an awesome person. May not be alive, may not be actual living, but we sure did feel those walks deep in our heart. There were some days where we'd skateboard over there. That's when we barely began to skate. We had begun skateboarding. Once upon a time, I grabbed a skateboard, did an ollie, did my first kickflip, bought my pal a soda because I landed my first kickflip. Oh man. Yeah, we would go skate over there. Even one of my pals would mention, I can get to the junior high in 7 minutes. He was acting like a little show off. Kind of wanted to outwit him, but no, that was pretty surprising. It was pretty impressive to know that he can get there in 7 minutes. And what can we say? He was just ollieing over the curbs. I wasn't even able to do that back then. Now I can do that. Then, when arriving to school, we'd have our skateboards, having all the teachers stare at us as if we're lunatics, ready to take our skateboards away from us, like some psychopaths. Oh, they got skateboards. We already know how this is gonna end up. They're gonna end up underneath a freeway, like some cool, radical people. Nah, man. Not today. Not today. Most importantly, those were the good old days. There really aren't going to be any other days like that. But just to let y'all know, I think that's going to be it for this video. That is going to be it for the walking and talking story. If you guys enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and Static Stays out.